We have Jonathan Trott, the head coach Afghanistan, the pre-match press conference, South Africa and Afghanistan semi-final in Trinidad. Jonathan, at the start of the tournament, you were asked whether there were a few critics, of course, who thought that Afghanistan had a fair shot of making it to the semi-finals. You gave a very guarded reply then. What's your response now?
Well, obviously they were right and they could see into the future. But obviously delighted, looking forward to the match against a strong South African side. We've played a game at Trinidad, so we've been there. There's familiarity about the ground and the conditions. So yeah, looking forward to it. And it's not every day you get to play in a World Cup semi-final. Obviously this is the first time for Afghanistan, very proud. But I know those guys are very excited to go out there and to play against South Africa. We had a good game against them in the 50-over World Cup, where we were, it was neck and neck for a while. They obviously won the game, but we're looking forward to matching up against them.
Right. Jonathan, congratulations first of all. If I can congratulate you on behalf of the whole Afghan nation, what would be the 2 or 3 learning points from this game that you think you could take into the semi-final against South Africa?
I just think batting, we've got to be better all around. We left a lot of runs out there. Yes, it wasn't the greatest of wickets, but so many times just bat on ball. We just missed so many balls where we could have got singles or perhaps looked to hit it in the gaps. But just a little bit of nous or experience. I'm not sure if it's a little bit of nerves. But heck, you know, we're in the semi-final now, nothing to lose. You know, very, very positive from now on in. By no means do we feel like we're going into the semi-final just to compete. We're there to win the semi-final. We've beaten some major teams. We've won by large margins. We've won by tight margins. We've won in close games. So that's going to serve us well going forward to the semi-final.
Some of us felt that probably some of the over-celebration from the Australian game might have impacted the performance in today's game. It's going to be an even bigger celebration today. Are you in any way concerned that that might impact the game against South Africa as well? Do you want to stop them in their steps and tell them, wait, there is another huge game coming up?
No, I think it's important to celebrate moments, but I think what the real world-class players do or teams do is they're able to switch on and off at the right times. And I think for our guys, this is a new experience. This is a new type of pressure as well. So they get into grips with it. The more they're playing these types of games, the more accustomed they'll come to having the highs and lows that international cricket gives you. But how to deal with it and stay on the right side of, you know, where you want to be mentally, whether you want to be over ambitious, overstimulated, you know, type thing, or you're too laid back. I think today we needed to be a little bit more ambitious with what we did.
When you took over as the Afghanistan head coach, did you at some point feel that this team could achieve what they have achieved today? And if I can put it bluntly to you, Jonathan, is it really happening? Do you believe this team could actually go on and achieve something that I don't even want to mention?
When I took over, yeah, I was astounded by the talent that I saw. I remember my first series was against Ireland, and I saw a few of the batters play some shots that were just, I had no idea how good they were. But there was a certain rawness to it all, and a sort of very, very sort of no real structure to how the game was played or thought about. Very talented, but the game is played, you know, very mentally as well, and becoming more structured, professional in the way that they approach the game, the way that they think about themselves and their teammates is the most important thing. So I've just tried to change those things or try and add here and there. At no stage have I tried to, you know, clip anybody's wings or haunt or, you know, rein in anybody with regards to their flair and talent. It's trying to add to it and make, you know, the bow of their arrow, if you like, even stronger, so that they can go for longer, win more games, and shoot for the stars even further away.
A glittering career as a cricketer for England, including major wins, Ashes wins, and then today when they held you on their shoulders after the qualification was achieved, how did it feel, and where would you rate it in terms of your cricketing memories and moments?
Yeah, it's a real surreal moment, I should say. The whole thing, the whole day, the last 4 hours, I have no idea what happened. It's so topsy-turvy, and it started well. We wanted to bat. We knew it wasn't a great surface, but we wanted to get at least 140, 150 and give ourselves a chance, and knowing that they needed to do it in just over 12 overs, I think it was. So, and that would play into our hands. But then, yeah, so it was a real tricky one, and boy, it's you know, we keep we keep entertaining people with the games of cricket that we play. It'd be nice to let's get back to winning by big margins. That'd be great.
Again, if you can rate this amongst the moments or the memories as a cricket player and now as a coach.
I certainly think it's up there with that. One of the proudest moments that I've, certainly as a coach, but as a player, I think it's a different perspective you have and a different appreciation for things. As a coach, you're not really in control that much. You can sort of guide and help and plan. As a, you know, that you don't have that, you have that highs and lows, and that's why I coach, because I still have that highs and lows. I still long for those feelings. When you leave the ground, you're going to have that high, and sometimes, you know, the lows of, you know, games when you lose is what actually drives you for the next challenge, and it's a bit similar to playing. So that's why I love coaching. That's why I love being in the change room, and I love, you know, working with these guys. And you know, it's there's been quite a lot of ups and downs over the last month or years. A lot of, you know, growing pains, if you like. But you see the guys tonight or a couple of nights ago, and the smiles on their faces, and the country all happy, and hopefully cricket, you know, being re-energized, and new people playing the game, you know, in all different parts of the countries and the world that this stage is on. You know, that's great for the game.
Coming back to the semi-finals, South Africa and Afghanistan, both in a way, I won't say uncharted territory for South Africa. They've been there before, but we all know how it has been tough for them crossing that line. Afghanistan, first timers in the semi-finals. So what do you think would the mindset be of both teams? Of course, you've spoken about your team already, but South Africa, and they've also won some really close games, including last night against West Indies. So what all to expect and what all to look forward to from an Afghanistan perspective as well as an overall perspective on the semi-final?
I think it's a case of us just looking at what we need to improve on, which is a few little areas. Nothing too major, just tighten up. And I think it's just a mind sort of mindset shift, if I like. But I also think, you know, we go into semi-final with no scarring or no history with regards to semi-finals. This is uncharted territory for us. Just going to go out there and give it our all. There's no, you know, preconceived ideas on it all, or history of failure or success in semi-finals in past years. So for us, it's a new challenge, and I think that makes us dangerous in the semi-finals as a side, with nothing to lose, and obviously a lot of pressure on the opposition.
Just lastly, Jonathan, I wanted to have your opinion on something that I come across when I meet fans, but some pundits as well. Some people believe that perhaps when it comes to the structure or the makeup of the squad and the team, that perhaps there are fewer full-time batters and probably just one or two too many all-rounders. Is that because you think no batter is good enough at this stage to come through and make a place for himself in the squad, or do you think it's deliberate to go with that many all-rounders in the team?
I've had this, and it's a good question. I've had this conversation, and I think it's again a mindset shifting that needs to be done. If you look at all the teams around the world, especially T20, the more all-rounders you have, the more options you give the captain with the ball, the better. If there are batters who bat better than all-rounders, then they'll play. But if your all-rounders, batsmen, are better than the batsmen you currently have, then you know you're going to play the all-rounder. Whether he bowls is irrelevant. If he's a better batsman and gives us that option, that's great. I think we've got to get away from the stigma of having 6 batsmen, a keeper, and a couple of bowlers. I think if you look at Australia, they've got all-rounders all around the park. You look at India, they've got all-rounders. You look at England, they've got all-rounders. So the top teams have all-rounders. We've got all-rounders. That's why we're in the semi-finals. We got a person like Gulbadin can come on and bowl, get us wickets, a crucial wicket. That's why you have all-rounders.
Thank you very much, Jonathan, and all the very best for the semi-final.